Hello. So, as Hannah says, I'm Paul Tyrer. I'm Head of Social Justice Strategy at the Scottish Government. And I was asked to talk to you today about the progress that's been made from the national perspective on child poverty over the last wee while. That's what I'm going to do. So John's already touched on some of this. So the Child Poverty Act, Child Poverty Scotland Bill, passed unanimously about a year ago in November 2017, and the Act itself became law in December 2017. We published Every Child, Every Chance, our delivery plan for 2018 to 22 in March. So that's kind of where we've got to so far in terms of key milestones, and then the next milestones are the publication of the national progress report by the end of June 2019, and the local action reports are due to the same time frame. And again, just to go over what John's just said, the delivery plan is structured around three drivers of child poverty. So increasing income from employment, reducing household costs, and maximising income from social security. But it's also, in addition to that, there's a focus on the life chances of today's children and young people, as some of them will be parents in 2030. So the theory of change, I suppose, is that if you can help boost the life chances of children and young people now, then it reduces the prospect that they will themselves be parents of children in poverty by 2030. And the plan also recognises that government will need to work in partnership to deliver, and that means partnership with you as absolutely key partners on this agenda, but as other people have been saying, with employers and with the third sector and with the rest of the public sector too. The plan has a focus on 6 priority families, which are set out here at the top. Hopefully you know about that. So what we're saying is, if we can focus on these particular groups that have a very high risk of child poverty, then we're going to stand more chance of succeeding in meeting the ambitious targets that have been set. And we'll be monitoring and evaluating all the actions that we are taking forward at a national level to make sure that these families can benefit from the interventions that are being put in place. So, the progress bit. I'm going to just talk you through some things that have been happening. Because it's a 4-year plan, not everything in Every Child, Every Chance, the delivery plan, has been taken forward so far. We are 6 months since the delivery plan was published, so some things have happened quite quickly, and other things are still waiting to get started. But here's a list of some of the employment actions that we've started with. So, Fair Start Scotland, which is the National Employability Programme, is now underway. First statistics on sign-up were published last week, and it seems to be that there's going to be a strong focus here on disability, but also lone parents are expected to benefit quite significantly from this programme. We also have within the plan a £12 million parental employment service, which is in addition to Fair Start, and discussions are underway now with plans for the first service in 2019. It's likely there'll be a local component to this, and I think my colleagues in Fair Work are in discussions with some local areas about that. There's going to be an action plan for disabled people's employment published shortly, and I think we'd expect to see something around the child poverty agenda reflected within that, but I can't say more about that at this stage. And we're actively considering what more we can do to help employers embrace flexible working. That's working to benefit parents so that they can work more flexibly around the childcare that they have in place, around school hours, etc. So just some of the things that we're doing around employment. In terms of reducing costs, so Councillor Tyrer mentioned at the start that Scottish Government and COSLA had agreed on a £100 national minimum entitlement for school clothing grants, which was great to see. And again, welcome the fact very much that some local authorities are paying more than that. That's really positive. The Scottish Government's launched a £3.3 million financial health check, a 2-year programme, national programme of advice delivered by Citizens Advice for parents around reducing the poverty premium that people on low incomes often have to pay to access basic goods and services. But there's also an income maximisation element within that in terms of access to benefits, etc. We've provided £250,000 funding for health boards to roll out advice referral pathways, similar to the Healthier, Wealthier Children model that has been developed in Glasgow. And finally here we've launched the Affordable Credit Fund with the Carnegie UK Trust, which is helping people on low incomes access affordable credit at mid-cost credit rates to avoid the kind of high-cost credit that families often have to pay if they are facing financial difficulties. So some things around reducing costs. And then on social security, so hopefully you've heard that the first element of the Best Start grant is going to be paid before Christmas 2018. The first payments will begin shortly. And the Best Start pregnancy and baby grants, so that's £600 for a first child and £300 for subsequent children. Payments of the new carers allowance supplement began in September 2018, providing an extra £442 to 75,000 carers this year. And as John said, work's begun on the new income supplement. So this is an additional payment to parents with children who are living on low incomes. And what we're doing here is we're looking at the different options for the benefit in terms of the kind of model we might take forward, the kind of delivery options, and it's something that we're very keen to work with partners on. And there's going to be, I think, wide-ranging stakeholder discussions about the income supplement over the next few months. In terms of other help, some other things you might be interested in. Children's Neighbourhood Scotland, which is a programme of work currently. There's a pilot site in Dalmarnock in Glasgow. We're going to be setting up 2 more sites in 2019, and I think there might be 5 or 6 sites in total. This is a place-based initiative to help low-income families feel like they have more ownership in terms of what's happening in local places. And it's being run as a joint initiative between the Glasgow Centre for Population and Health and Glasgow University. But the sites will be outside Glasgow, future sites. So there's definitely something in there, I think, for local areas to get involved with. We've provided some initial site support for colleges, Dundee and Angus and Fife, to do some preventative work with young people who might be at risk of becoming poor parents themselves in future. And there's going to be more work on that front coming up over the next few years. It was great, just in terms of children's life chances, to hear recently about the Scottish Government's work aiming to become the first country in the world to have LGBTI inclusive education embedded throughout the curriculum. So I just wanted to mention that, because that's really important. And finally, we have an innovation fund with the Hunter Foundation worth £7.5 million. We'll be making some announcements shortly on Year 1 projects, and we expect at least one local authority to benefit from that. And there will be future rounds that local authorities and others can bid into. So hopefully you'll be interested in taking part in that. And then we set up a range of local support. So I guess you know about most of this, but just to remind everybody. So we published some guidance earlier in the year for local partners in terms of their local child poverty action reports. We funded Hannah's Post to provide support for local partners on this agenda. And we've also funded the Scottish Poverty and Inequality Research Unit at Glasgow Caledonian University to provide you with some policy development support and other support too. We have a post in Scottish Government to advise on local data requirements. Kerry Mackenzie and colleagues from NHS Health Scotland are chairing a group to manage local support, which is great. And we provided funding for Year 1 to support local reporting for NHS boards, and we're shortlisted to do the same, hopefully with local authorities. So that's a very quick run-through of what we've been getting up to over the last 6 months or so. If you'd like to bend my ear about anything, please do. I'll be here over lunch if you want to have a chat. Okay, that's it. Thank you.